Nick Dubois is a Conservative MP sitting on the Parliamentary Committee looking at the NHS bill and is in our Westminster studio. Does he have a point that this needs to be scrapped and looked at again?
I think what we should be doing as far as the bill that's going through Parliament at the moment is now that we've been through the listening exercise, we shouldn't take our eye off what is the primary goal that is motivating the changes, and that is to improve patient outcomes. It is also to secure the NHS for the future, because happily people are living longer, but technology is increasing, costs are increasing, so the reform bill sets out to shape the NHS for the future. What I do welcome is the Prime Minister's pledges today, which we were all elected on, is for an NHS universally available, funded from general taxation. But there are core principles that I have already set out that I think are crucial to remain in this bill. And they are the so-called red lines, which we want to see GP commissioners taking a lead with our healthcare and removing what has become 13 years of massive bureaucracy, which has also not just drained the NHS budgets, but it's also actually had a negative effect on outcomes. We have to ensure that we retain the element of any qualified provider coming into the NHS so that we can actually drive up standards and drive up patient choice. And I think as long as we stick to the core principles, the core pillars of this bill, I accept that there will be some modifications that will come back, no doubt, from the listening exercise.
Well, do you agree with the Deputy Prime Minister, who said there should be no arbitrary deadline for when responsibility should shift from bureaucrats to GP consortia, as he puts it? Do you regret that the Conservatives particularly, the perception is that they've got themselves into a bit of a mess over all this and a fight, frankly, they didn't need to have?
Well, first of all, to answer your first point about the deadline, which is being set as April 2013, it's a very realistic deadline, and I believe we should stick to that for a couple of reasons. We don't want to return to a two-tier NHS where some people have a GP commissioning and some don't. That would be a return to the failed Labour attempts before of GP fund holding. What we actually also want to see is the benefits, both financially of bringing GP commissioners into the front line, which will allow us to make massive savings on administration and return, in this Parliament alone, £5 billion back to frontline services.
But very briefly, sorry, because I did ask, do you regret the fact that the Conservatives seem to have got themselves into a bit of a mess over the whole issue of the NHS?
Well, I think the important thing that's come out over the last few weeks and in the listening exercise is that we are now at a point where both sides of the debate have been heard. At one point it was being dominated by one side, which might allow some to draw the conclusion you have. We're now at a situation, though, where I think both sides of the debate have been heard, and that debate will come back to Parliament shortly, no doubt, for us to continue. So I think we're actually now sticking to our principles in a strong position to go forward and secure the NHS for the future as free and available and funded through general taxation.
Nick Dubois, thank you very much.